Hey guys, I'm Michael Kemp. I'm an Ironman athlete. You're probably wondering what happened with my neck. I'd like to share my story. So last October, I got into endurance sports for my first time. I decided to leave my job at Google and start a sabbatical in between professions. I wanted to take a good look at what I wanted to do next, but I'm a go-getter and I wanted to stay active, and decided to sign up for an Ironman. Didn't exactly know what that meant. I just knew that it seemed really difficult to accomplish, and I had some time on my hands. I was finally healthy after some previous injuries. I really wanted to give it 100% to see if I could become an Ironman. So on March 30, 4 months ago, I completed my first Ironman in South Africa. It was in Port Elizabeth, halfway across the world. I enjoyed that journey, that 6-month journey of training to become an Ironman so much, and saw so much growth in myself. Was really proud to complete that, but my next goal after that is to compete and hopefully to win a race one day in my age group, with the more near-term goal of reaching Kona. In order to qualify, you have to be one of the top athletes. I think it's about the top 3% will qualify to be able to race. And I just think what better opportunity to be able to race with the top athletes in the world. So I took a few months off of training after completing my first Ironman. For me, I knew even during the day, it was a really difficult day finishing the Ironman, but as soon as I crossed the line, I knew that I wanted more. I talked to my coach and we quickly decided what's going to be the best path for me to be able to try to compete to get to Kona. We ended up deciding on Ironman Texas, which is April 18th of next year, 2026. Also, it's exciting that Ironman Texas is right here, 2 hours from where I live. So I'd be able to have the support of other athletes that I know who are racing it, have some fans come support some of my friends and family. This will just be more of a home court advantage. So after I got back from South Africa in April, allowed my body to recover for a month or so, and then I dove right back into training. So I've been about 3 months into this training block. I was back in full swing to swimming, running, biking every week. About 3 weeks ago, here in Austin, Texas, I was bike riding just northwest towards Round Rock. I was with a group of guys in a peloton. I ended up getting dropped from them around 70 miles in, and it was heavily raining. Didn't have much experience in the rain. I was going pretty fast, around 25, 26 miles an hour on a flat road. Came up over a lip and I saw an intersection with heavy traffic that I wasn't gonna be able to brake before. I don't remember the rest of the accident because I ended up having a head injury, but the witness who was at the ambulance said that I realized that I wasn't going to be able to brake before the intersection, so I veered off the road. Unfortunately, on the other side was a ditch that was 8 feet deep, and I fell straight onto my head over the handlebars. My spine compressed. I fractured my sternum, as well as broke my C6 and my C7. And also a facet injury on my C5 and my neck. When I came back from unconsciousness, lying there in the ditch, I couldn't move my neck. I couldn't feel my body. So I was concerned whether I was bleeding out, whether I was paralyzed. So I wasn't really sure what to expect. Once I got in the ambulance, I asked the firefighter in the back of the ambulance, hey, be real with me, am I gonna survive from this? I wasn't really sure what the situation was, what the extent of the injuries were. I felt a lot of pain in the top of my spine and in my back. He told me I was gonna be all right. Right at that moment, I just knew that I was gonna make the best opportunity of it. Once I got to the hospital, they took CAT scans, they took an MRI. They came back to me pretty quickly. They said I had 2 fractures in my top of my spine and that I had my sternum fractured as well. I wasn't quite sure what the prognosis was going to be for recovery. All I knew was that I had some broken bones in my neck, which sounded pretty serious. What ended up happening was 2 days later, I had surgery. I had bulging herniated discs in between C5, C6, and C7. My neurosurgeon decided to remove them and replace that gap with titanium rod implants. So they made an incision in my throat here, pulled my throat to the side, and on the front it's called an ACDF surgery, which is anterior cervical discectomy and fusion. They placed the rod implants and then tied me back up. I stayed in the hospital another 2 days and they let me out on Saturday. It was that moment when I realized that I hadn't hurt many of my lower extremities, really hadn't hurt much more. Of course, my head hurt, even though I was wearing a great helmet, and it's really saved my life. I knew that the extent of my injuries were a broken neck. And while that sounded severe, it excited me because I knew I was going to be able to continue training at some level. I didn't know what that level was going to be, but having had trained the last 9 months and built a nice furnace of cardio conditioning and getting really good cardiovascular health, I really didn't want to take a few months off and have to start all over again. I knew that was going to be a big setback in my training to try to race the time that I'm hoping to do at Ironman Texas. They told me that I should have a full recovery within 6 months and that I'm going to be wearing this brace for the next 3 months. Immediately I started asking, what am I allowed to do and what am I not allowed to do? I got authorized from my neurosurgeon to walk. He said that's all I could do for the first few weeks. So I went back into my gym down here in Austin and showed up on the treadmill and started walking. It was a big moment in my life, but I never for one moment, for some reason, played myself to be a victim. I didn't question my faith. I almost immediately saw it as an opportunity to continue chasing my dream, which is to place in the top athletes of Ironman Texas and get that qualifying token to race in Kona. To my friends and family, that might seem surprising that an injury of this caliber wouldn't get in the way, but I just felt like I made that decision. I made that decision that this is what I wanted to do, and I no longer view it as a setback. I actually think that it adds to my story. The doctors and nurses couldn't stop telling me that the reason, one, that I survived the accident, and two, that I didn't have many more broken vertebrae, and three, how I'm recovering so quick already, is all related directly to my level of fitness going into the accident. And that's something that I feel responsible to share with other people. We all want to look good, and we love lifting weights because we look good in front of the mirror, or we want to be around, when we've got grandkids and we can play ball with them in the backyard. But something that I hadn't thought about before, and a lot of people don't think about, is you might walk in front of a truck tomorrow. You might get diagnosed with stage 4 cancer tomorrow. All of the medical professionals told me your level of fitness going in is what's allowed you to not only to survive, but to recover at this level. And I'm just amazed by the human body's ability to recover. This is on a faster level than I've ever seen before. I give thanks to the level of fitness that I had going into the injury. What I've been looking for every single day since is to find people who were going to enable me to do things. I've visited my chiropractor at my gym, my PTs at my gym. I've talked to other doctors I know who know the body much better than me. And I'm just looking, I don't see this as a disability. I think it more as enabling than disabling. For one, I'm not somebody who slows down very often, and I think this has been an amazing experience for the training that I can't do right now, to include running, swimming. Those are months away. It's really taught me things like patience, obedience. I've gotten so much closer with my community because I've had more time and been able to receive a lot of love that they're giving, how they're showing up for me, and connect with my faith better. But I never looked at this as, I'm gonna take some time off and I'm gonna sit on the couch. I immediately just wanted to be able to, in a healthy and responsible way and safe way, get back to all of the things that I was doing as quickly as possible. I'm really fortunate that 2 weeks, so we're now 3 weeks after the accident, 2 weeks after the surgery, I was authorized by my neurosurgeon to resume biking on the stationary bike on an indoor trainer. This has done so much for my mind and my body. I knew that the sooner you can get up and start moving, I had been walking for a week after the hospital. I knew that blood flow and that muscle activation was really allowing nutrients and things that I've been putting in my body to travel around and start the healing process. I've been moving my body in every way that I can, and I've just been told, just because I had a neck injury doesn't mean that I can't move the rest of my body. So I was really happy to see that as soon as I got back on the bike, it'd been only 2 weeks and I hadn't lost any of my conditioning. Of course, I eased into it, but now that I've been cycling for a week, which is pretty crazy to me if I think about, a broken neck of this extent, that I'm able to cycle and do the things that I love. So I just never viewed it as a free pass for me to get to chill. I've got a race 9 months away, and I've gotten green lights for that and spoken with my coach, and we're going for it. I think since this has happened, it's always been a dream of mine to document some of my journey. Wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do that. I think for a lot of reasons. One, a lot of people, when I tell people that I'm an Ironman, a lot of people don't really understand what that means. They might know the distances that you race in, but they might not fully understand how many months and years does that take of training? What does that require of you physically, mentally, nutritionally? So I've always wanted to document that, but once this injury happened to my neck, I think what it made me realize is I love following along with fitness influencers and seeing their journeys and, get inspired and motivated by them. But I think the disparity that some people might feel, myself included, between watching somebody at the top of their, these elite performers, whether they're, in a specific sport or they're in the gym, it can seem so far off that you might be, and I was, discouraged by how am I ever going to get to that point. I think this is an opportunity to show you, I wouldn't say I'm at ground zero right now, because I do still have a lot of the conditioning that I have built in the last 9 months, but still just 9 months into a brand new sport with triathlon. If you follow along, you'll be able to see that progress. I'm going to be just as if, somebody was getting off their couch for the first time and beginning an endurance training program. This is really an opportunity for people to see what it takes to go from, the beginning stages all the way up until April, where, as long as my health, as long as I stay healthy and stay with the program, which I fully plan on doing, you'll get to see me competing, hopefully with some of the best athletes in the world. And, I just think I'd love for you to come along the ride with me and get to see what we can accomplish together. So right now, since I'm not able to run and I'm not able to swim, because I'm going to be wearing this for 3 months, I also have an incision in my throat, so I can't get inside the water, and I'm not allowed to lift my arms above my shoulders. Yes, those are restrictions, but one of the best things about being able to get on this bike, which right now I'm doing 7 times a week, 6 to 7 times a week, is I get to keep my heart healthy. So there's not going to be nearly as much setback when I start resuming the others. Of course, there are different sports that challenge you in different ways, but I'm already going to have that base of cardiovascular health and endurance. Right now, 7 times a week, I will usually be biking 1 to 1.5 hours each day. And then on Saturday, I will do a longer ride of 3 hours or so. So that's about 200 miles per week. The benefit of this is, in a typical training block, I would be cycling less than that, because triathlon, and especially long distances like Ironman, is usually managing fatigue. Everything you're doing is so that you don't get too tired on one to be able to perform on the other. But right now, when I can only cycle, it gives me an opportunity to get really strong. And in combination with strength workouts, which I'm already allowed to do, some lower body strength, that's allowing my legs to get really strong. And about half the race, let's say I'm shooting for a 10-hour race for the total time that I'm going to do in my Ironman, close to 5 hours of that is going to be on the bike. So I really view this, rather than a setback, it's an opportunity for me to get really strong. It's something that's really important in triathlon. races is gonna have me waking up many hours or many days of the week when I don't wanna work out. Maybe I didn't get too much sleep the night before. Maybe my body is sore from all of the other workouts I've been doing that week. But these are the moments when it's the most important to show up for yourself and to do the workout, because this is how it's gonna feel after I've swam 2.1 miles in the ocean and I have to get on the bike for the next 4.5 hours. It's not gonna be a nice feeling, but because I have faced that feeling so many times in the previous months, same as when I get off the bike, my body has now been working for 6 hours or more, and I have to run a marathon. The only reason that I'm gonna be able to do that is because I've developed the resiliency and the grit that are required for all of these days right now. When I think about the community that I want to build by posting these videos, I think back to when I signed up for my first Ironman and would put the YouTube videos of people I was inspired by, either to learn things, whether it was nutrition or how to use the bike properly or how to train effectively, and it was really inspirational. So I would love to build a community that can help people understand that. And also, even if you're not a triathlete, the entire idea was for me putting something on the calendar that was really challenging, and achieving it is what built the resiliency that allowed me to be the person I am today, who's now going to compete in one that's hopefully potentially winning the race in my age group. And I think it'd be great for people just to see what can come from putting something really hard on your calendar, whether it's an endurance event or something completely different. And who you become along the way has completely blown my mind. And I want people to understand that you don't have to be special in order to accomplish something great. The first few months of training for an Ironman, everything is new and fresh and it's exciting. One of my friends, Zach, right now, he's going through that, and you can watch how he's glowing and radiating when he talks about it. But the truth is, months in, that starts to die off when you become tired, you haven't slept well, your body is sore, and you still have to accomplish all of these things. So one of the best things you can do is call your friends up and go for a run with them. You can join a coaching community or a triathlon community where they are teaching you, they are ahead of you, so they're inspiration for you to be able to get faster. And I would just really suggest this because you can feel pretty alone, because not many people are training for something like this, like an Ironman, and just having people to rely on in order to keep you motivated and mentally strong has been really helpful for me.
Because I mean, dude, the more time I spend with you, the more I hear about your life, the more interesting it is to learn about.
I appreciate that. I mean, there's a lot that I haven't shared, and I think if I can do it on a way that hopefully will inspire people.
Yeah, Mike, so I was visiting, or I got lunch with my cousins who were in town visiting, and, you know, they mentioned my videos, and they were like, what was your story? And I was like, I go on a run with this guy from the gym, and they don't really understand collective. I'm just like, a guy from the gym, I go on a run, and, you know, he talks about this, like, the world-class, like, renowned program that NVDM, and I, like, interview a couple coaches, and then I'm like, all right, like, I'm gonna do it. And like the whole, like what I had in my mind planned from like signing up for NVDM is like, oh sick, I'm gonna start training with Mike, like throughout the journey. And then like 2 weeks, like after I sign up, like the accident happened. It's just crazy how like things change in like a blink of an eye. But like, they were like, holy shit, because I showed them the picture you posted on your story of us running, and then I think you swam or biked that day. But it's like, this was like just crazy, 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to train together.
Yeah,
it's just going to be postponed.
It just looks different than like what I thought.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like we're going to start training, ripping runs, like, and that was like it was a zone 2 run for you. It was like a zone 4 run for me, like the 5 miles. Yeah, we can wait on the steak too before we really dive in.
Cool.
So have you done any type of like Ironman training like that before, or just like for a run you went all the way to Ironman?
We did high rocks.
Yeah, we did high rocks.
Okay.
Which is, you know, that's the like, high rocks is different. Anybody can like, I guess, pull off a high rocks. Not anybody can pull off an Ironman without like training.
Well, I guess a high rocks is for about an hour and a half output, right?
Yeah, an Ironman is just a long day.
Yeah.
What was your time, Mike?
So I did my first one in 11 hours, 40 minutes. You have 17 hours to complete it. That's their cutoff time, which is usually midnight, because the first guys go out at 7 a.m., which is pretty wild if you think about it. I'm actually more impressed with some of the people who came in at 17 hours.
My little brother came in at 16 hours and 30 minutes.
That's even more impressive than my 11:40, because they were on there 5 hours longer, suffering more than I was.
Yeah,
so that's a cool thing about it, is you might have these professionals who are popping off like 7 hours, 30 minutes or something. But yeah, it's such an individual thing, and it can be even more of an achievement if you're out there till midnight, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not just a 17-hour cap. I forget exactly what it is, but for the bike, it's something like somewhere around 8 or 8.5 hours, because they don't want you to start on the second one if there's just no chance, you know, where you're going to get to the rest of it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the swim is first. I think you got something like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. The bike is cumulative from that around like 10.5, which would mean another 8 hours. And then overall 17 hours. That's crazy that your brother did 16.5. Where was he struggling on it the most?
He rented a bike, and he did it at Ironman Texas. And last year when he did it, there was like 30-mile-an-hour headwinds going down the freeway, and he had no aero bars or nothing. And it took him, I think, like 8 hours, when I think the cutoff's 8.5 hours on the bike. And he's like, he told me he like almost passed out in a porta potty for like 10 minutes. And like said it was the most intense 8 hours of his life being on the bike. And then he was like, he never ran a marathon in his life. So then to get off that and then go have to put out 26 miles on your legs is crazy. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the things is Zach and I have been talking about this, because he gets in the water, and you're on hardly any training, and I watched your video of you swimming, and you looked like a fish, like you were. And you said you feel comfortable in the water.
I'm learning, yeah. Totally.
But for me, I have a panic attack every time I get in the water after swimming for 9 months. So what's interesting about it is, like, a lot of people come up to me and they say, oh, well, I don't know how to swim, so I can't do it, or I'm not good on the bicycle, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah. And
I think what I've been explaining to people is, what can be your weakness now can actually end up being your strength in the end. Like, I think the reason, it shouldn't be a reason that you make an excuse of why you shouldn't do an Ironman. I think it should be the reason you should do it. Yeah. The best way that I've gotten to be an okay swimmer is by having to get in the water 70 sessions over 6 months just to be able to swim 2.1 miles in the ocean.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, though, I hate the bike. the bike is so brutal for me.
What do you hate about it?
It crushes my legs, and so like my first ride I wasn't fitted to the bike, and then like the second ride I was fitted, and I stopped going for like a tune-up. Dude, I think it's like I get maybe bored a little bit, and just sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm still like sitting in aero. I don't feel like I'm in the strongest with my legs. Like my legs aren't most comfortable in aero, and I think that like that's a tune-up thing.
I can recommend a few things for you
Yeah.
off of both of those. One is, don't be surprised that you're bored. Like, you're gonna get to a point where you're biking 5-6 hours at a time. But one of the things that I do, I don't know if, do you have a TV in front of where you're biking?
I just have my computer with the Swift.
Well, what I would do,
Do you want to see my setup?
yeah, for sure, we'll go
Yeah.
out there in a second,
Okay.
but what I would suggest is, I put my bike in a room where I've got the laptop in front of my bike, but then a TV in the background. Because right now you might just be doing hour rides and you really need to focus on what different power settings you'll be on and whatnot. But once you get to doing multiple hours, the best way to avoid being bored or also for inspiration is throw up a Nick Bear video or a Luke Hopkins video or maybe eventually a Mike Kemp video.
Yeah, let's do
And
that.
you're not only watching someone else do what you're doing but better than you so that you can learn from them, but you're also just getting inspired by, for me it was just motivation. And another thing other than with that aero thing, you don't have to, and I'm sure your coach has told you this, you don't have to focus on spending all of your time in aero position when you're cycling. You can just do what you're comfortable with now and slowly start adding more and more time in aero, because I'm sure your legs are like, what the fuck, you know?
That, and then, I think, I had like a fit issue too with I thought my shoes were loose because I started riding at the gym, at the bike, and so like, Will was like, you're just pushing down at those bikes at the gym, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not like clipped in.
Yeah.
And so then I like overcorrected and I started pulling up.
Mm-hmm.
And so like my heel was slipping back, and I thought like my shoes were too big. It was like, dude, it was the worst thing ever. I literally comment like a paragraph on Training Peaks to Will. And I was like, dude, like something is so wrong. Like I really hated it.
Yeah, one of the
It's,
cool things about Training Peaks is you get to leave comments in
Yeah.
for your coach to read and then can guide you along. Eventually you're going to get to where it just feels like you're just picturing a circle and a full 360, because some of the top cyclists in the world, when I watch them describe on it, you're actually never pushing down. You're pulling up with enough power that it floats over the top, and then so that way you have resistance around the entire 360. So most people think like, oh, it's all about quads and just pushing down, but you're gonna get exhausted on your quads just by doing that repetitively for hours and hours.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
So then you can recruit your hamstrings and your calves by pulling up. And don't get frustrated that it took me a year just of cycling, because I road cycle a bit before training. It takes a year just to get fully used to it. But yeah, let's take a look at your setup.
Yeah, like the safest helmet.
Awesome. I meant to bring over one of my stands. So you don't have something that you put your laptop on top of right now?
So right now, this is like literally I put my laptop right here on the ledge.
Okay.
I put 2,000 milligrams of electrolytes in this bottle, and then I'm just staring like either outside or at my screen, and then I haven't figured this part out. I mean, this is like a but I haven't.
Oh, those are nice.
But I haven't utilized it.
I haven't seen one like that. Mine goes sideways like this.
Yeah.
But you'll like it when you're outdoors because you're not going to want to have to reach back for it.
I need to add bottle adapters somewhere.
Well, it's amazing that you have a fan. It took me 6 months before I used a fan because no one ever told me I should. And I literally was just sweating pools. Like I would lose 8 pounds of sweat.
Dude. Yeah.
So it's great that you've got that.
Yeah.
Do you have is there a TV in this room? What I would recommend is I'm going to give you, I've got 3 stands now because I really like it to be exactly the way I want it, and I don't have, so I have 2 that I'm not using anymore.
Okay.
So I'll give you one that you can basically put right in front, and then you got your laptop right on it.
Yeah. I don't think you've seen the bike
It's
either.
a sick bike.
It's so it does have the SRAM electronic shifting.
Yeah. How does that feel? Was that nice for you?
I love it. But dude, what I don't understand, and maybe you can help me, is it has a hard time going into just like the big gear. So notice like, so you press them at the same time to move them. Well, it did that time, but it doesn't always. It can go into small gear pretty easily, but sometimes it has an issue.
Putting in a big gear?
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like I'm putting it over right now.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit too advanced for me.
Yeah.
I would probably just ask Will to come by sometime and take a look at yours.
Yeah.
Cause mine, I think I just stay. So I might have a different one than you. I think I just stay in big gear the entire time.
You probably could do that.
I do have the same, but yeah, I think I just never get lower than big gear. I think.
Is this like a pretty standard setup? Like.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
I think just so that you don't get bored for when you're gonna be on here for quite a few hours, I would just think about putting it in a place where you can have a TV.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I can hear your dog barking.
I know. He gets so excited, and I don't want him to jump on you.
Is he angry with us?
No, he's. I don't think so.
Okay.
He's the most friendly dog. What?
Cool. Okay.
All right. I guess we'll just start prepping.
Can wait for Cole.
Yeah.
I'm like about
They're
one
more
lane
food
away.
too.
Trying to get a spread that looks good on camera.
I know. Pretty easy to learn, and like it's just more intuitive because you don't need your phone paired to it. So like, just nice to be able to like not have your phone and go on a walk or a run and like still track it.
Not have to
like the
get messages
GPS,
and
right?
stuff.
Because Whoop tracks, you only get GPS in Whoop through your phone, and then also I think it has better sleep tracking.
Okay.
And then of course because of the external heart rate monitor, you get like better.
And it will just connect straight to it.
Just connect straight to it, no questions asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I just need to put it on. It's at my house.
Which one did you buy?
The 965.
Okay, yeah, that's
Same
what I
as
did.
it.
Yeah. Dude, it's awesome. I would, if I didn't pay for this in advance,
You'd
I would
snap
like do
back.
it. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Let's
Damn.
go.
Let's go.
I feel like that would look
I gotta get a
I
sick
feel like
shot.
that would look good for the camera.
y'all should open up a restaurant around here.
sure.
With the X and everything, nice.
Let's go. So we're gonna come over here once a week, yeah?
Share plates for anyone who might want to. Do you have a race on the books for next
Yeah,
year?
April 18, I got Ironman Texas.
You guys are both doing Ironman Texas.
We actually both got ready to sign up for the half Ironman, which is Waco this
Yeah.
October, but I'm only out of this in October, and I won't even be running yet, so there's no way I'm going to do the half Ironman, but that's
Yeah.
a great starting point for him. But we're going to be doing Ironman Texas together, and you're going to be there in the audience, I hope.
We're gonna have the whole squad there. It's gonna be awesome.
That's one of my exciting things for me is because Ironman South Africa, I was the only person there, and I flew 20 hours to get there. So to be at home now and to be having all of my friends and my coaches, and it's just gonna be a lot more of an emotional experience for me.
That's what Will said. Will's purposely not racing in Waco, so he can just be there with his bike, all the gear. Like he's like, and like pretty much like if we need anything, he's just gonna like
Oh, that's
have
awesome.
those. Yeah. So it's like kind of having a little like that.
Is there a
Like a-
coach?
Yeah.
He's a stud, man. He got
Yeah.
first in age group, what, third overall in his last race or something like that?
I don't know. He's a 2-time world champion. Whatever, like, I guess in this age group or like, but you know who's really a beast is Parker.
Yeah, Parker Keith.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
That guy's an animal. He ran like a 4. Dude, I think it was like 4 or 5 or something. Half.
For a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
All right, should we dig in?
Yeah.
Yeah, get in here.
Let's do it.
Thanks for cooking, guys. Doing something like this because
Yeah.
I think so many people put it on this pedestal of like, well, I could just never do that because of whatever,
Yeah.
because they injured their knee last year
Yeah.
and they don't want to risk it. Or I just want people to understand there doesn't have to be this much disparity, and you just build bricks each day, and that's. I'm sure for you, like every day now, you're a month or 6 weeks in.
No, I'm on week 3, wrapping up week 3. So
Okay.
I'm wrapping up a month.
And I'd imagine you're already getting some confidence by getting a little better in each sport.
I've never felt like a more like capable, stronger human being than I am right now. One is like I have like my time is like very purposeful now because Ironman is something like you'll probably cover throughout this, but like it is a very time intensive. Like I wake up at 5:30. I'm at a track or in a pool at 6:30, and then you have like other training sessions throughout the day, and then like you and I, like if you want to stay lifting, then you have another session. I mean, I'm spending like 3-4 hours a day like training,
Exactly.
and there's also prep to training, dude. Like even like little things like I'm putting aquaphor, I'm chafing like terrible, and so now I have like nut butter and all this stuff, but like it's like really like you spend hours outside of actual training,
Yeah.
like prepping,
Absolutely.
putting your thing on a bike, or on the trainer and taking it off, and like setting up your computer. It's like you probably spend like close to 4 or 5, probably 4 hours a day.
Yeah, for me, just getting ready for an indoor bike ride is 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah,
When you
exactly.
set up your computer, before you get dressed, you have to put the body glide,
Yeah.
you have to put the Vaseline on. You gotta hook up your bike to the trainer if it's not already there. Yours right now, you're just doing indoor, so it always stays there. And I've got an extra bike, so that one is just my all-time trainer. And then I've got my more expensive racing bike that I only use for racing. Yeah, you got to fill your water bottles, put your nutrition in them. Got to put your heart strap on. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Then you got to hype yourself up a little bit.
Yeah,
Get
and
the
then
right tunes
the
on.
amount of laundry I do, I go do like 3 or 4 pairs of like clothes a day, running, working out, sauna, all that, different clothes. Another thing I think you should talk about, which was like, and you didn't do it cheaply, and I did it semi cheaply, but I totaled it up. Like I think I've spent like close to $6,000 so far, and so it's like an expensive sport,
Yeah.
like generally. And I think, like not only like is it like, if you want to like close the barrier to like entry, it'd be something interesting for you to talk about because you actually went like the extreme way of like I'm gonna buy like really top of the line stuff, but it's expensive. Like the sport is. I mean, I've spent $6,000 in the past month.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an important topic that you said of triathlon is not cheap. When you add in the races, depending on what country or what state it's in, that can be $1,000. Bikes you can easily spend over $10,000 on a top of the line. But not saying, for most people just getting in, you can spend. My coach gave me his first bike for $500. And yeah, it's older and it's mechanical shifting, but if somebody wants to do it budget friendly, you can accomplish it. But yeah, when you're adding in all the nutrition you need, all of the tights you have to buy, swim equipment, that is cool that you tracked it and it was $6,000. I was definitely in a position being a bit older and having some money in the bank. I decided, I'm not the type of person who just jumps into something and is going to do one race and it be over. So I'm just super thankful that I did it that way, but it's definitely not necessary,
Yeah. I mean,
What's up, Damien?
What's up, Mike?
Good to see you.
me too.
Damien, do you know Pablo?
Yeah, what's up?
Associate coach. There's like tiers of coaches.
By the way, Zach, Sunday, have you attended any of the Sunday calls at 6 p.m.?
I've done one.
So
When
this
Parker was talking.
Jackie Herring is an NVDM athlete, and she's also #1 ranked professional athlete on the women's side.
Okay.
She's speaking at 6 o'clock this Sunday.
This Sunday?
I recommend listening to what she has to say.
Like, is it one-on-one or is it
Yeah. It's all one-on-one, but even better, like on Wednesday, Monday, I'm sure when you show up to the swimming pool, there might be 3 or 4 coaches there, and they're all watching you, so you could get advice from multiple coaches.
I don't even like swimming alone right now because I want to make sure that I'm not developing
Trying
bad
something out.
habits. Yeah. And just have them critique me. You know who's really good is Scott.
with the 45 minutes?
I'm at least allowed to take this off. I've got 4 different neck braces. I've got 2 that are like this, which are hard braces, and they won't let me turn past 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
I've got one for sleeping that's like a softer collar. They've allowed me to take it off, but I don't know how you sleep, but I'm like someone who flops back and forth throughout the night, and I just don't trust myself.
Sure.
If I'm going to put it at a weird ankle. It's just been a good way for me to try to understand what my faith is about. Because I have like a personal relationship with God, but I didn't know what it meant to go to church or to go to Bible study. So It's just cool to understand the text better.
Yeah.
Do you guys read the Bible or anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've been Austin Ridge. It's a
Yeah, I've
church
been
here
the
in
last 2
Austin.
Sundays.
You've been to Austin Ridge?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Sunday mornings, they do one at 8 and one at 10, right?
Ours is at
11,
9 or
yeah,
11.
I've been going to the 9 one.
Okay, we've been going to 11 one,
Oh,
but
cool. We'll have to go together sometime.
yeah, we definitely should. And like what's I guess cool about that church is it's some churches are like motivational speakers, and some churches are like pound the word.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, and this guy, yeah, like literally, like they go word for word, verse for verse, like.
Natasha had always been telling me that I run with too much upper body tension, like this, and that I needed to relax the tension, and I couldn't figure it out for weeks. And she posted a story of us at the track doing speed work, and I saw myself run by, and I was so self-conscious about it. I was like, man, I look ugly running. Like I need to fix, and it's also inefficient. I need to fix that. So I went down to the trail without my headphones, and I was like, all right, what does a primal human run like? I wanted to like imagine being more of like a mammal. And I started relaxing my wrists and then relaxed my elbows a little bit, and then finally could drop my shoulder from my joint. And once I did that, I finally felt like some resistance of the wind. My legs were running in sync with my legs. And then at the same time, my breath started getting in sync with all 3 of them. And I was like, man, I'm never gonna run the same again. Like this feels incredible. And right when I like leveled up and figured that out, God got behind me, and there was this big force behind me, and like it was combined with like the trees and the squirrels next to me. My legs felt weightless, and I was 11 miles in on Sunday of a long run, where I should be typically getting a little tired, and I had so much energy. I felt like I could run 100 more miles, like at a 6-minute pace or something crazy. And I stopped right there at the pedestrian bridge, and I just started crying for like half an hour. And I just kind of got this message from him that like, I'm with you, I'm supporting you. Yeah, and I think my life's never going to be the same from that. So this has turned from a fitness journey to me to a spiritual journey, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
And I just want to spend my life living. That's a clip right there.
Dude, I almost crying.
Dude, that's
3 weeks out from surgery, 3 weeks out from the accident. I think we're in a pretty good place, but we got a long way to go. I'd love for you guys to subscribe and come along for the journey.